Hi, my name is Daniel. In this video I will show you how to play with the DGT board on chess.com from scratch. There are several pitfalls. I will show you how to avoid them and so save time. So I will start from scratch. I have the Bluetooth board, so I will pair it with the computer. So I turn the Bluetooth board on. Now on the computer I open the Bluetooth settings, click Add Device, click Bluetooth, click the DGT entry and wait till it has found the board. Then I click Connect. There's no need to input a pin. That's it. Next we need to install DGT LiveChess, which is the free software from DGT to operate the board. It can be downloaded from the DGT website. Choose the 64-bit installer here. This will work in 99% of the cases. And now just run the installer and just click through the installation using all defaults. So next, install. And finally click Finish. Next, we need to connect the DGT board to the computer. The green light on the board is blinking. This means it's not yet connected. So we start the DGT LiveChess software using the shortcut on the desktop or by searching for DGT. And on the first run, we need to connect the board. When you start it later, it is automatically connected. We don't need a firewall rule. So here, if you click on eBoards, there is no entry. But now we can connect the board using serial ports, manage serial ports, checking all ports, and choosing enable the serial port. Now it has found an entry, DGT Bluetooth board. So if we click on this entry, we see the board. And now if we check the board, we see now the green light is steady. This means the board has a connection to the computer. We can now check that by moving a few pieces around on the board. As we can see, that's reflected, so the connection is fine. Next, we need to set up Chrome. We install the chess.com voice commentary extension. Which will announce the moves, so we can play on the board without using the computer screen. Apart from that, it has nothing to do with the board. It's just very useful for playing without the screen. So I'll just display the extension. It is set to default, which is fine. It means it will announce the moves. So we're done with that. Next, we need to set up chess.com. That is our account. So we open chess.com. And now there are two ways to start the game. One is using Play LiveChess. That's also called the old interface. And the other is play new game, which is also called the new interface. Looks a little bit different, but it's basically the same. Now, the move announcement only works on the old interface as well as playing with the DGT board. That is crucial. Playing with the DGT board works partly on the new interface, but sometimes moves are detected, sometimes not. So what you need to know is, if you play with the DGT board, always start the game using play LiveChess. Now we need to configure the settings here to have text for the piece notation. Otherwise, the move announcement will not speak the pieces. It will say like C3 for knight C3, and we need to enable the DGT smart board here. Now, both settings are saved if you open and close the browser, but please remember that if you clear the cache, it will lose the setting for the DGT board. So if you clear the cache, then before you start your next game, you need to enable the DGT board again. Now we will check if the move announcement is working. For that, we open a game which is being played. This is by default opened on the new interface where the move announcement does not work. So we can click play, then LiveChess, so the game will be opened in the old interface.
Bishop D6, knight F3,
and as you can hear, now we have the move announcement. Now we're playing online. I will start the game. 10 minutes with no increment is the fastest I can play with the board. And starting from 15 minutes and 10 seconds increment, I think playing with the board is no disadvantage at all. I will choose another user. And so that I don't have to turn the board, I will choose white. If you play against a real opponent, you will have to turn the board in 50% of the cases. So now I can make moves on the board. So I make my move.
E4.
It's reflected on the screen.
E5.
Now my opponent made a move. E5. I must replay it on the board. I make my next move.
Knight F3. Knight C6.
And I replay the opponent move. Knight C6. Now moving the pieces. You can move by lifting up and putting down pieces. You can make that slow.
Bishop D5. Bishop C5.
Or you can also make that fast.
Bishop F1. Bishop D6.
What you cannot do, as in over the board chess, is if you release a piece for some time on a square,
Bishop B5.
it will take the move and you cannot move it anymore to another square.
Bishop E7.
You can also move the piece using sliding. Sliding must be done with swift movements.
Bishop D3. Bishop D4.
And as before, if you slide a piece but keep it on a square for some time, the move will be registered on that square. So I move it to b5.
Bishop B5.
And I cannot move it anymore to c4 after some time. Now for the pitfall position mismatch, I started a new game. It can happen on the own move.
E4, E5. Knight F3, Knight C6.
So now
Bishop B5.
I think I played the bishop to c4, but that's wrong.
A6.
My opponent actually attacks the bishop, but I don't realize.
Knight C3. A takes B5.
And now my opponent will capture the bishop, which I realize now, and so the game is lost. The problem is that the software does not warn about this situation, which every other software I know does. The same can happen with the opponent move.
E4. D5.
So my opponent plays d5, but, well, I don't listen carefully and I play e5 instead. And now the software will not warn me.
Knight F3.
I will play knight f3. Now my opponent
D takes E4.
will play d takes e4. Oh, I will realize the pawn was actually on d5. Well, this game is lost. So, the most important takeaway, always check that your own move was registered correctly. Always replay the opponent move carefully. If you don't, the software will not warn you, and in many cases it will result in game loss. Now I play a new game to show the en passant first. I've also pre-moved, so you will see the fastest play possible.
E4, E5. Knight F3, Knight C6. Bishop C4, Bishop C5. A4, Knight F6. A5, B5.
Now I can perform an en passant capture,
A takes
which works fine.
E6. Castle short.
Next I will do a promotion move.
E7, Rook E8.
So I have a second queen, which works
B
fine.
takes A8 equals Queen D6.
And now I make a casting move,
Castle short.
which also works fine. There's a pitfall with the castling, which I want to show here.
E4, E5. Knight F3, Knight C6. Bishop C4, Bishop C5.
If the casting move is done very quickly, it is sometimes not detected correctly.
Rook F1.
So now it detected rook f1 and the move cannot be undone. So in many cases that's just a game loss.
5.
So for the casting move, move the king first and wait until the move is announced,
Castle short.
and then only move the rook. In that way it will always work 100%. I want to show you two other points to save you time. First, you cannot play against the computer with the board if you start a new game against the computer. It will not detect the moves made on the board. So As you can see here, you cannot play with the board against the computer. I also want to show that you cannot use the DGT clock to display the moves or the remaining time. Like with many other software, you can set the clock to mode 25 and use the clock to display the moves and the remaining time by just connecting it to the board. That is not supported here. Thanks, that was all. Good luck.